Shine your eye and understand the strategy. The main thing is to find a ground to beat your spirit down, because they know that the main people they are going to contend with is the Nigerian youths. And they know they are going to have faces that will be fronting for them. They want to start beating those faces down, demoralizing their spirit, and checkmating their excesses, checkmating their powers. You know, hello and welcome to Jazini Insights, VDM, the word on everyone's mouths this time. You know, we have a system that is rigged against the people. Otherwise, tell me how, in a broad daylight, some group of persons, which for me are criminal, will come in a commando style to adopt someone in an official premise, environment, I mean. Normally, if you are arrested, they tell you what your crime is. They also allow you to reach your lawyers or anybody you would like to reach. They accord you that respect until they take you into custody. Moreover, you are also expected to be to have the right to see a warrant of arrest over you. Something that authorizes another human being to lay hands on you, to incapacitate you in the name of arrest, withdrawing your privileges, because it's like telling another man that you cannot move around like me that is arresting you. You know, say, if I come to arrest you as a human being, I have the same rights with you. And there is no way, nothing that empowers me to take you off that right, except the laws of the land, except the powers of the state. And that powers of the state can only be established through a warrant that is signed from appropriate quarters. That is the only time somebody will have the right to lift you off your right as a human being. Otherwise, it's inhumanity to man's inhumanity to another man. Do you understand how our country has drifted so badly that under a leadership, under a government, some people will have that much impunity to dehumanize another man because they have the powers of the state? And I ask again, who gives the powers of the state? It's the people. That power is given by the people, meaning that we recognize you and we give you the powers to control us based on your pedigree, based on that authority we give you. That is how our country has drifted so badly, degenerating into the state of nature where an animal will see another animal and swallow it. It's not supposed to be so. So in the case of VDM, I'm not a fan of VDM. I am not. I understand the zeal of the young man, and I appreciate the fact that someone is doing something somewhere. I might not agree to his methods most of the times. And it doesn't remove, I don't need to like him. It doesn't remove the fact that he is doing what he knows and how best he feels he can do it. So, I will not, because I don't like all his methods, discredit his honest efforts. I will not also, because I do not toe the same value paths with him, discredit his honest effort. And then also applaud those who are infringing on his personal rights. No, we cannot allow any of our country, man or woman, be dehumanized. It can only be under Tinubu's administration that this kind of thing will happen. While we had military juntas governing us, we were not in this state of palpability, this state of fear, this state where people are afraid to even breathe, complain when they are discomforted, call out people who are doing wrong things, both against individuals and against the states. Where is the sanctity of governance? I keep asking, because it is that sanctity of governance that makes you look up to government as the next savior, as the next God. If we destroy that element of government that makes them superior to be looked onto, then we are heading to the abyss. And that's where Nigeria is at this moment. It is under this administration that things like this is having a free flow in our country. Let's even look at it. Someone complains about money being withdrawn from his account. I do not believe that it's just because of that complaint, if you ask me. I know, and I feel, I had this feeling for a long time now that it is building up. It is building up. It's just a matter of time. You know why? Because these people that are power crazy, it's all in their head. What they want is power. They don't like seeing another person that is a rallying point. That is why whatever the Nigerian youth does, they beat it down, because they want to be in the center of that applause, the center of that power, because they enjoy the euphoria of power to the extent that they now abuse the power. They feel larger than life, that they take laws into their hands. They destroy our laws. They destroy our democracy. They destroy the peace of our nation. They despise their young people, and they plunder the country. Now, why did I say it's building up? You cannot tell me that it's just because of a day's complaint of a bank robbery, or, let me just be polite about it, okay, technical problem, because most times when you have these challenges, they say it's technical problem, we'll fix it. From we'll fix it, nothing is ever fixed in Nigeria. If the government says we'll fix something, they don't fix it. And it now ripples down to organizations. When you go to those organizations and they say we'll look into it, just forget about it. It is only when you have these big heads that are able to maneuver and beat down anybody they can that maybe things will work for you. But it should not be so. We're supposed to have a country where things work for everybody. Now, when you bring these complaints, they say we'll look into it. I've had a situation where a whooping $9,000 got lost in a bank. A case related me. A whooping $9,000 got lost in a Nigerian bank. Bank officials. You know, it's until you say your own part that people will know that these things are happening. Monies are stolen in banks in our country. It is also in our country that we see cases. Recently, he was a young man filming his female colleagues in the bank and selling their nude pictures in the same office that is supposed to be official, under extra scrutiny. Because they know that resources, money, can be linked to the lives of people. It is only in the bank that people will put their life savings, their hard-earned money, all the money they have suffered to earn. Because they feel it's safe. People don't have access to banks. Shouldn't such places be safe haven? And now, when they tell you they'll look into it, they don't look into it. But in this VDM's case, I don't want to believe that it's an isolated case. It's not an isolated case. VDM has been marching on toes. You know, recently he did the EFCC. Recently he talked about Sheyi Tinubu's Nan's case and was talking about evidences that should speak up to unravel the situation. He has touched also some of the big heads. He can be annoying actually, but it doesn't remove the fact that he's beaming some light in some areas. Sometimes VDM can be manipulative. Manipulative in the sense that in trying to get clout, he jumps into every situation. And, you know, either raises a controversy in it or one thing or the other. But it doesn't remove the fact that whatever he talks about is existent. It's happening. Now, from January, according to the story, they started withdrawing money from his mother's account. You know, January is still very fresh in our memory. We just entered the month of March. Of May. And the system is watching the popularity building around this young man. They don't like things like that. And to get you, they will go through, they will swim in the mud. And I want to ask this question at this point. Why is it that the Nigerian government seems to be in a fight with its young population, with its children, with the youths? Have you wondered why? Because there's a dichotomy between the younger generation and the older generation. Not just the leadership of the older generation, because those ones have outrightly failed us. Also with the non-leading cadre of that generation, because they kept quiet and they are not fighting as much as this young generation is fighting or are fighting. They don't like it. These children, they are insultive, they are loud. I heard Woloshenka saying that they are fools. They can jump into any topic. They cannot make simple sentences. I wanted to respond to him, but I kept quiet because I think he's full of himself. He thinks wisdom is in making correct sentences. Sentences come from languages that we are taught, the English language particularly. What about common sense? What about the literal knowledge of life? That is a natural wisdom. And not constructing English doesn't mean you are a dunce. So let them stop gaslighting the youths of Nigeria and picking a fight with them. They have legitimate concerns. They have legitimate worries. They are raising cogent questions, issues that their fathers never raised. So it is possible that it is their New Year project to get on very dark man, Vincent. You know, they start by withdrawing monies from his mother's account. Ask me how much, because from the picture he painted, the mother is supposed to be a primary school teacher, whom he said it's not even because of the money that they are continuing in the job, because they've not even affected the 70,000 minimum wage that they are still debating on. So invariably, most teachers of that level will still be on just 30K. He emphasized that it's the attachment these teachers build with those children that still make them keep working under the conditions in the country. And then someone would deem it fit to go and be drawing the poor woman's stipends, the poor woman's little money, and then take this one this time, take this, and then tell me who can, who has access to our NIN. According to the laws of our land, it is criminal to have people's personal information and take advantage of them. So whoever does that is either criminals who have direct access to your information, either because they have stolen it, you lost your documents, your purse or whatever, and they got access to your passport, your jota, your whatever, through which they can have access to those information. Otherwise, where else can they leak from? From the organizations that will submit them for official uses, like the bank. The places you can get our BVN, our NIN is from the banks. And the banks get them through the agencies that are saddled with the responsibility of using them for data purposes. So the only people that have direct access to those or such personal information to be able to use it to your disadvantage is the government. And you know, when they want to get you, they know all the places to what to do to get you. So when people think they are safe wherever they are not. So don't do anything thinking or being afraid of being arrested or being held, because the day these elements remember you, they will find you. They know how to get you. So they use things around you, people who are close to you, activities you are attached to, and a lot more to drag you out. So they use this one to lure VDM out. People are talking GTB. GTB is the reference point. It's also possible that the whole staff of the station, of the branch where the incident happened, are not privy to the plot. It can only be one cooperating member, one cooperating staff of that agency that will know the plot. Because I don't think that it is all the staff of the bank that would like to cooperate in things like this. So in those plots, they won't disclose it to everybody. So in this case, the issue of money getting lost in GTB is another issue to be addressed. And the issue of using the bank is another issue to be addressed in terms of having access to the people's private information to use it against them. And then the actual persons who are cooperating and playing along in the plot through the bank is another issue. And before we begin to call names and before the issues begin to unfold maximally, you will, in the coming days, hear trumped up charges. They are going to come up when they say cyber stalking and the person is in EFCC custody. Does the EFCC have the right to begin to enforce punishment on people who they feel defame them in their word? People are entitled to their opinion, and if they call out things that are obvious, things they can be able to prove, I don't think it is any form of libel or defamation. So they start with cyber stalking. Cyber stalking, even if that is what it is, what they're expected to do is to report to the police that will invite this young man, and they talk it out or take it to the law court. Now the EFCC feels so entitled to now go after people who they perceive as enemies, not even on financial crimes. And to give it legitimacy in the coming days, they will include financial crimes. I have seen a young man talk about who VDM transferred 50,000 whatever to, or who transferred 50,000 whatever to VDM. And I remember that same young man was linked to a very tragic case of the two ladies who went to see one Nigerian returnee Londoner in Abia State and didn't make it back. The stories were up and down. When the police took the young man that is involved, the young man that disappeared those ladies to Abuja, when they say he has run away, they shot him and all that, and they started doing the investigation and found the contact of this man that is saying VDM is into a cyber whatever, to be closely tied to the case or to the person in that case. How come the same person now knows too much about VDM's financial transactions? Is it possible that these are people who are tied to criminal elements in government? And sometimes when we see some of these suspicious deaths, decapitation of people, supposed or seeming organ harvesting, it begins to look like they are somehow linked to some government personalities that are unknown to us. Is there any connection in this whole thing? How bold is that guy to be making some of the allegations he's making? The question now is the government targeting VDM? You know, before we make certain conclusions, we want to hear from them. And from tomorrow, that is Monday, more details will come out. But I want to tell the Nigerian youths that one of their strategies in this time that they want to use is to dampen your spirit, to beat your spirit down, to put your morale down. They are seeing the boldness of the Nigerian youths, and they are seeing the cloud gathering around this young man, and they want to use him to set example. They are going to paint different pictures as to what the case is, because I've seen people talking about men of God or church people that are being used to witch hunt. I don't believe that, because our laws does not give anybody the 100% right to act the way these people are acting. It is only people in our government that have that audacity to behave in this kind of rascally commando style. Because they will keep us divided by painting a religious picture, painting a political picture, painting an ethnic picture. One, they will tell you it is your gospel artist that after VDM. They will now tell you it is your Yoruba brothers that after VDM. And they will now tell you it is because of his support for so person. Now listen, shine your eye and understand the strategy. The main thing is to find a ground to beat your spirit down, because they know that the main people they are going to contend with is the Nigerian youths. And they know they are going to have faces that will be fronting for them. They want to start beating those faces down, demoralizing their spirits, and checkmating their excesses, checkmating their powers. Nigerian youth should understand what is happening and don't play to the gallery. Retain your voice. Support VDM as much as you can. Not because of anything, but because they cannot continue to beat down young people in Nigeria and think to get away with it, because we are at a phase where if we're able to break through the revolution we are looking for to better new Nigeria will emerge. Can we hold on and get over this kairos moment? It is always darkest before the dawn. And the battle to win it, we're going to be strategical, technological, and wiser, not to troop to the streets, exposing ourselves and giving them more powers in their bullets and their corrupt abilities. We will take their voices away, their powers away from them through technology. Right now, GTB Bank is one of the samples that the Nigerian people want to use to make a statement. We should also continue looking for other means through which we can make a statement without necessarily going to the streets to be killed. Because the war of this era is the war of information and the war of technology. We have to bet the Nigeria of our dream. And all this gra-gra is just to hinder this moment. I can feel it. I can see it, that they are closer to the revolution Nigeria needs. It's going to be a bloodless revolution. It's going to be a revolution of the mind. And it's going to be a revolution of numbers. How many are they? Tomorrow, as we get more details, we'll give more analysis on what will be happening. Meanwhile, every mouth should shout, not just because we are glorifying VDM, but because this pattern cannot continue. I don't want to call names. Whatever they are all summed up as the authorities operating in the criminal system.